Hello and welcome to this training video for the BCIO, the Behaviour Change Intervention Ontology. This is module 5 of the training course and it covers the Behaviour Change Ontology tools. Now the module is part of the Behaviour Change Intervention Ontology online training program, whose purpose is to help potential users of the ontology to understand what it is, how it works, how to use it in their research, and for those who are interested, how to develop and improve it. Before doing this module, you're advised to view modules 1 to 4, which cover what are ontologies and why they're useful, how can ontologies be used in behavioral science, what the behaviour change intervention ontology is, and what are the key components of the behaviour change intervention ontology. And after this module, you should be able to know how to access the BCIO search website and the BCIO visualise tools. You should be able to use BCIO search to find entries for an entity that you're interested in and to explore the BCIO. And you should be able to use the BCIO visualise website to see how entities relate to each other. So let's look at our first learning objective, accessing the BCIO search and visualise tools. Now, this is relatively simple. You can either go directly to them through their URLs, or you can access them through the BCIO main website, and you can also access them through the HBCP, or Human Behaviour Change Project website. Entries that have reached the status of published, which is to say that they've reached a point where their labels, definitions, and other details have been agreed by the team and passed various quality checks, can also be accessed using the CHAOS publishing platform. Entities published in CHAOS receive what's known as a DOI, which is a Digital Object Identifier, and that's used to uniquely identify articles or documents, and they provide it with a permanent web address. And that means that they can be treated as journal articles from the point of view of referencing, which can be very helpful if you're using the ontology in research papers, for example. In addition, the CHAOS website provides a facility to provide public comments on definitions, and those also count as journal articles and get a DOI. So it's good to engage with that. And the entries for each entity in BCIO search provide a link to the CHAOS article, or users can go directly to the CHAOS definition using the CHAOS website. Let's look at learning objective 2 now, which is using BCIO search to find entries for an entity of interest and to explore the BCIO. Well, finding an entity in BCIO is usually the first step in various uses of the ontology, such as writing study protocols and research reports, developing interventions, or conducting evidence synthesis. Step 1 is in the document we're working on, whatever that may be, a paper or a protocol. When we want to use the BCIO to refer to an entity, we open up BCIO search, and in the search box we enter a term, which is a word or a phrase, that we think corresponds to the entity we wish to search for. Then BCIO search will try to match this with an entity label or a synonym within the BCIO. If we find a suitable entity label, we can go to the details section of that entity and either use our web browser extension, for example for Zotero or EndNote, to create a record in our bibliographic database using the browser extension link, or we can just simply copy the URL for the web page and enter it manually into our database. If we don't find a suitable entity, we can either try searching for synonyms or go to the Explore part of the website and go up a level or two in the semantic hierarchy to see what entities are there that might meet our needs. And then we can find that entity and copy the entry into our bibliographic database as described above. To insert the reference to the entity in our document, all we then need to do is to use our cite while you write function in the bibliographic database to enter the citation if you're using something like EndNote or Zotero. If you don't have a bibliographic database, or you don't want to use the entity citation as a reference, you just want to link to it, then you can just simply copy the URL for the entity into whatever document you're creating directly. Let's look at Learning Objective 3, which is using BCIO visualise to see how classes of entities relate to each other. The first step is to enter an entity label into the search box, and that then selects the branch of the BCIO that we're interested in. For example, if you put in behaviour change technique, then it will find that and put behaviour change technique in the set of terms that it's going to search for. So you can then choose whichever of the entity labels corresponds most closely to the branch that you're interested in, and that will appear in the search box. Then all you have to do is click on Submit, and it will display the branch corresponding to the entity label. Then you can use your mouse to move around the display to explore how the entities in the branch relate to each other. At the moment, the relationships will be parent class, subclass, that kind of thing, and in a few cases relationships such as part of or has part. But in time, we'll be building a whole network of causal and other kinds of relationships that are used in the ontology. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out and drag the mouse using shift-click, for example, if you're on a PC, to move around the display. And then visualizations can be saved at any time using the Download Visualization button. Well, that's a very quick tour of the functionality within the BCIO Search and BCIO Visualise websites. I think the next thing to do for you, if you're interested, is to just explore those websites, try it out, and let us have any comments using the contact facilities within the BCIO website.